Digg Co started as a traditional landscape architecture concept. So originally we were designing gardens and landscapes, but we really wanted to do something larger for the natural world and for the ecosystems within which we worked. And over the last 5 or 6 years, the work has transposed from the garden scale and the kind of landscape scale into the farm scale and then into the kind of ecosystem scale. Today, Digg Co is about facilitating and designing and being a part of groups who are looking at large landscape restoration and nature restoration and rewilding projects, but at the same time still applying so many of the kind of tools that we were all taught as designers. We have the farm out the back door of the studio. You know, any number of days when there's a job to do outside, we will just all maybe down tools for an hour or two and go into the veg patch, or if the cows need to be moved or they need to be drove up a road to go to a new area of ground, then we'll all just dive on that, and you know, it doesn't matter what time it is. It's key to go back to the beginning. So when Bella's my wife, were dreaming up what we wanted to do with our lives about 10 years ago, just after we got married, we wanted to do something as sort of powerful as we could to improve the natural world around us. And we were incredibly fortunate to be able to move back to her family farm, where the studio concept began, which we then built ourselves with the barn that we live in. And almost immediately we began working on the farm to change its fortunes. And it was at that point that this sort of completely interwoven symbiotic fusion of the landscape that we were working in feeding to us, and us, you know, feeding information into the landscape began to occur.
Mick, do you want to move the fence out? I think that the collaboration between the farm and the studio is just, really it comes down to two people not both wanting to do everything, and in the end finding your lane. And I think that managing the cattle, or me being able to, this being my primary job, enables the studio to stay the course and do their work, but they always have a reference outside. As soon as they leave the studio, they can come up into the fields and get a reference point or get grounded. And I think it is just a case of, we both want to do this, but I want to do it more. And Toby wants to do landscape scale ecological restoration more. So yeah, we fit together well in that sense. There's never been a clear boundary drawn, although I'm not employed by Digg Co in any shape or form. So any time I'm working with them, it's from my perspective, it's from the farm's perspective. So it helps us keep enough distance that we focus properly. But when the chips are down and I need help, I have a whole team that's willing to help me. And when the chips are down for them, I can step in and help them. The farming informs Digg Co's work, and Digg Co's work encourages us to try different things here and gives us the confidence to do so.
I feel like here at Digg Co, it's very seasonal. You know, we grow veg and we eat whatever veg is being produced, or we go out hedge laying in the winter, or scything in the summer. So I think what we do is very much dictated by the yearly cycle, which is, for me, just really, really important. Yeah, I really, really love working here. And also just starting to work on bigger projects, collaboratively working with my colleagues on the table, you know, pencil in hand, sketching. And I don't think you get that opportunity at other places. It feels like we've all got an equal share in what we're doing, which is really, really lovely.
I love the work here is so close to it actually happening on land, and it's not like 100 years away or 100 miles away. We're often, well, we are working in the UK, and we can go to the place and like see some of that happening. And as much as like we try and like vision far into the future, we are the people that enable it to start very soon. And that is like really, I love that, because there's a lot of feedback into what you're designing. I spend a day a week in a veg garden trying to learn from a very wise lady. And so that's like 8 a.m. till kind of 10:30 in the morning, and I just work later that day, and we're not kind of like counting the clock on each other. It's just really nice to still have a team that works hard around you, but who are like aware that that doesn't necessarily look like being at the desk between certain hours all of the time.
Digg Co is a really special place to work in, at, with, be part of, for many, many reasons. But you know, beyond the fact that the practice does, you know, remarkable work in terms of landscape design and ecological restoration, it's incredibly unique and set apart from all other landscape firms that I've seen, in that there's a community that is fully integrated from every aspect of the team into life in the office. And being here in Devon is so important to that. And you know, everything from cooking together, eating together, you know, interacting with life on the farm, and using those interactions as a testing ground to, you know, actually practice what we preach.
The Digg was a nod to me because I set it up, but it's not my full name, and it's also, you know, the sort of nominative determinism of the fact that we're working with the soil and digging stuff and moving earth inevitably with the work that we do. And then the co was that wherever and whenever we were working, there was always more people around within the group. I would just like for everybody to have not only the same ability to feel like the work that they're doing is really meaningful and purposeful like I do, but we are then able to, as a group, spread our wings better across the projects that we do. So as these projects ebb and flow, which they will do over sometimes decades, I really want for the whole of the team to feel like they've had a massive part to play in that, and not just have been stuck on the computer drawing something up for somebody else. So that's a really, really powerful sort of driver of the co.